Tyler Perry has a habit of mixing serious issues with his own distinct brand of slapstick comedy. His new film For Colored Girls is a departure. First, it's an adaptation, and second, more of a drama than any of his prior work. Does Perry and For Colored Girls deserve Oscar gold, or are we all going to be seeing red? Paul?
A good movie either needs the big screen, the big budget, or big stars to be worthy of an audience as large as Tyler Perry's. Tyler Perry's For Colored Girls is one of those movies that follows interconnecting stories of people going through struggles, the domestically abused, the sexually assaulted, accidentally impregnated, the barren, and the hopelessly devoted. Think Valentine's Day with more raping. The writing has its good moments, and the audience laughed in interesting places, and the barbs from Janet Jackson to her boyfriend with a fabulous secret are delightful in their sophomoric nature. As an adaptation, though, the bits Perry has written and the parts lifted directly from the play arrive at perpendicular angles to one another. Some are good, and anything that comes out of Loretta Devine's mouth is gold. But these little poetic monologues grow in occurrence towards the second part of the film, and I grew tired of folks talking in Radiohead-style lyric every 4 minutes. The acting is good, and Whoopi Goldberg gives the best pissed-off look I can remember in recent cinema history. And Felicia Richard is able to captivate an audience without doing a whole heck of a lot. And Tandy Newton does her best Rosie Perez impression. Now, this movie is called For Colored Girls, but all issues of race and color are literally left to the last 20 minutes of the film, where the words colored, black, and the N-word find their way into the monologues. Nothing in this film features issues specific to the African American community. And if these characters had been white, pink, or purple, nothing would have changed but the color correction. Maybe it's because I'm not colored or a woman, but this movie is not worth the price of admission. I'm certain the issues of haphazardly handled domestic violence, laugh-inducing rape, oddly implied incestual abuse, awkward directing, and a drawn-out ending and cliched "let's all hug as we ponder our lives without men" scene transcend all colors and genders but one. Green. Save yours. For Colored Girls would make a wonderful first season of a cable or TBS drama, but as a movie in a theater, it's not worth the price of admission. So, Ross, what did you think of the movie?
You know, I think everything that was really a problem with this movie was in either the script or in the directing. I think anytime he brought up a decent issue like post-traumatic stress or rape or underage pregnancy, he then went, okay, now that I've brought it up, let's give you just the absolute worst case possible scenario. She's pregnant, back alley abortion, PTSD, kill the kids. You end up feeling something, but not because, you know, you've been moved. You're feeling something because someone is twisting your arm behind your back and pressing your head against the pavement. It's a passable melodrama. The performances are great and sincere, but the script...
I think that it was very melodramatic, but there was, in a sense, you know, twisting your arm and pressing you into the pavement of these issues. But I think that these are issues that either get passed over or sort of joked about, and I think that this movie is worth the price of admission, if just so that afterwards you can go out with your friends, get something to drink, and talk about it. Talk about, okay, what does it mean to, if you see a man in public and then you invite him up to your apartment and then he attacks you and nobody believes that it's rape? Like, what does that mean? And what does that mean in this society as, I mean, personally as a woman, but I also think that it's important for, you know, men, just as, since we're, you know, humans, to talk about these issues. Though I do agree it was very overdone. I think that Tyler Perry had a little bit of trouble letting go of his playwriting roots and really conforming to a film.
Yeah, and I mean, and then you look at other movies dealing with African American issues, where you've got stuff like Soul Food or Eve's Bayou, where it's much more laid back. It's much more toned down. You can actually have time to talk about these issues instead of going, have an opinion on them. Come on, these things happen. It's bad. It's really bad out there. It was like the movie was screaming at me, basically.
It just seems to me, if you're going to do a movie about issues, make the issues more interesting than something you'd find in like a documentary or a Lifetime movie, which is what it really felt like. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't think they tackled the issues well, though. I mean, it's one thing to bring up, you know, the issues here. They, you know, obviously they hit, you know, kind of the hot points, PTSD, you know, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, all that. But the thing is like, it's all stuff that we've seen before. It doesn't do anything new. And I think when you have such a huge audience like Tyler Perry does, I think you have to do something different. Like with the character who is sexually assaulted, I think what should have happened there, she should have had to see her her assailant every single day walking home from the train, because that's how they met in the movie. You know, but instead it's just a cop-out the way that plot ends. So, you know, the audience can cheer and then we can wrap it up. And then they can all hug at the end or something, you know?
I guess so, but I think that what was new about this movie was that it was done with an all-black cast.
But they've done that
We've seen that before.
Yeah, Waiting to Exhale.
Soul Food.
Where they did.
I mean, black casts are nothing new. I think what really sort of worked against this movie is the fact that while it tackled issues, it tackled the issues, put them to the ground, put their wrists behind their back, and just dug their face. And by the issues, I mean the audience, just dug your face into the pavement, making you feel something through force and not through actual experience.
How was your audience in the film? Because I had a really interesting reaction to mine, and you were in the same theater as mine.
I was.
My audience was just film reviewers. It was pretty quiet.
We had a full theater VIP section, and just filled up with Tyler Perry fans, and it was insane the way they would react to things. Like during the scene, again, I keep going back to the scene because it made everybody laugh.
The rape scene.
Yeah, and it baffled me because they cut it with like this really kind of jazzy music, and it just didn't make any sense to me. But Ross actually got a chance to sit down with the lovely and eclectic Tandy Newton, who gave us some insight on her role, the film, and her favorite breakfast food of choice.
What was your main preparation for this movie? Obviously, being British, I don't know if it was a different experience. I guess my main question is the Black American experience different from the Black British experience?
Well, it is, for sure. Just by virtue of being in a different country under a different political system. It's very obviously complex. But I wasn't playing an African American in as much as I was playing a human being with a different accent. So for me, it was more playing Tangi, who is the daughter of Whoopi, who is the sister of Nyla, who doesn't like so-and-so, and do you know what I mean? So it was more about becoming familiar with that. And it's so exciting being given a role because I get to decide how she sounds, how she moves, really what she looks like. And it's like creating a piece of sculpture.
And this movie has a very sort of theatrical feel to it. It's very sort of close to the play with people breaking into soliloquies and whatnot. And did you find that at any point it was a little almost distracting to have, because theater and film acting are so very different, that to bring them together, did it ever get muddled almost? Or?
Well, it wasn't so much, we weren't having to suddenly act in a theatrical way. We were just speaking the words from the poem. And I actually found it really liberating because the poetry would come at a point when words and regular dialogue just simply wasn't enough. And it allowed the characters to speak their truth in a beautiful way, because truth is beautiful. But the poetry comes at moments of heightened emotion for all of them. For Loretta when she's talking about her man leaving, for Anika when she's talking about the experience of having been violated and so on. And for me, obviously, talking about having been abused as a child. So it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. It was like the poetry was like a little key that we could unlock into a huge world of emotion. And it never felt arch or theatrical. It just felt deep.
Was there anything that you really had to sort of turn to just to sort of lighten things up at the end of filming, you know, where, because obviously the material's very heavy.
Well, each other.
Yeah.
Each other. If I felt frustrated or... Anika Noni Rose was my... she was my lightning rod, for sure. She just had a way, just as a friend, she just had a way of diffusing anything pent up in me and making me laugh. And we were all that for each other. We really were. I'd come into work one morning and I'd be sitting in the makeup trailer and you'd hear about, Kimberly just did an extraordinary scene. Oh my God, Felicia was just amazing. And there would be this energy of reverence and support. So even though we weren't like physically with each other, just, you know, it was a real, there was an energy of community, which I think kept us all going. The fact that we were all going through the same stuff, that was the other thing. That's what it basically is, you know.
We're trying to settle an age-old debate that has been raging for a very long time. So I think the question's very simple: pancakes versus waffles.
Oh, waffles.
Waffles has been the clear winner so far.
Yeah,
You
interesting.
care to elaborate?
I'll tell you. I think waffles are guaranteed. There's not much change between. Like a good waffle is a good waffle. Pancakes, you can get a soggy one. You can get a light, fluffy one. I think there's more room for
error.
Error.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you have like next on your?
No more talk of debates. That was the debate.
That was the debate.
Waffles
Pancakes versus
pancakes?
waffles is like, I don't know. It seemed bigger to me just because I'm very hard picking. But so far it's been
okay. So
clearly
is it going to
waffles.
help people pick when they're in the diner? Is that the idea, or is it going to eradicate the pancake? Is that
I'm
ultimately where
working
you're
on
going?
getting the waffle the credit it deserves. You got stuff like International House of Pancakes.
Is the waffle doesn't have the credit it deserves?
Well, I mean, you've got Waffle House in the South, but you don't really have like that waffle. I don't know.
Okay, no, I hear you, but you don't want to over push the waffle because then maybe it will become less
Could backfire.
glorious.
Yeah.
There's something about the underdog that makes it cooler, sexier. Keep the waffle on the down low.
But I think if we bump the waffle up, that'll give French toast the ability to become the underdog.
Oh my God, I'd love French toast to be the underdog.
Yeah, there you go.
We shouldn't have brought that French toast up. French toast is a combo of the waffle and the
It is.
and the pancake.
It's the perfect breakfast food.
It is extraordinary. It's extraordinary. How do you take your French toast?
My French toast, I like it nice crispy on the outside, a little syrup, not too much syrup or else it'll get like sweet. How do you like your French toast?
No berries or anything like that?
Berries if they're offered, but like I'm more of a savory guy in the morning.
Okay.
Like,
you would never put cheese on your French toast or anything like
oh,
that?
absolutely. I would
You
totally,
would?
Yeah.
Cheese?
I would put cheese on my French
I
toast.
had some French toast with mascarpone cheese, which is a bit, frou-frou, but it was
Love that. I'm sure it tasted amazing.
melted right through it. Because in England, we call it eggy bread,
Okay.
French toast, and it's usually savoury. You have it with like a brown sauce, which is like brown ketchup,
Yeah.
brown sauce. Brown sauce, salt and pepper.
I'm gonna look into that. You guys know how to do. Like, I think
I don't
British
know if we
food gets
do.
a very sort of bad rap, but
it's
like,
it.
yeah, but sometimes you get stuff like that just sounds amazing.
Fish and chips is always good.
That too, you know.
Yeah.
I think we need to make British
Jellied
food.
eel.
I feel like British food is the waffle of the culinary world. Sort of
I
underrated.
don't know, love. That's so sweet
Oh.
of you, but no.
Okay,
No,
worth a
it's
shot.
not. It's not the waffle of the culinary world.
Well.
Okay. It's the soggy toast of the culinary world.